Hello everyone, here are the latest market news on November the 28th, 2019. Trump signs legislation maintaining Hong Kong. U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday signed a legislation backing protesters in Hong Kong despite angry objections from China. The legislation was approved unanimously by the U.S. Senate and by all but one lawmaker in the House of Representatives last week. It requires the State Department to certify at least annually that Hong Kong retains enough autonomy to justify favorable U.S. trading terms that have helped it maintain its position as a world financial center. The law also implies sanctions for human rights violations. Meantime, China's foreign ministry on Thursday said that the legislation was a serious interference in Chinese affairs. It warned that the United States will shoulder the consequences of China's countermeasures if it continues to act arbitrarily in regards to Hong Kong. Johnson's party said to win its biggest majority. Boris Johnson's Conservative Party is on the track to win its biggest majority in more than 3 decades, according to the most anticipated poll of the general election campaign. According to a YouGov poll, which used a technique that more closely predicted the 2017 election, the Tories will win a majority of 68 seats in December the 20th election. Such a majority would allow Johnson to deliver on his promise of getting his Brexit deal through Parliament by January the 31st, also giving him some freedom to make compromises in negotiations with the European Union. Global stocks fall on Hong Kong tensions. Global shares decreased on Thursday amid concerns that Hong Kong tensions may interfere with signing a trade deal between the U.S. and China. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan fell 0.2% on Thursday, with Hong Kong's benchmark Hang Seng and Shanghai blue chips also showed negative results. Meanwhile, Japan's index Nikkei declined 0.12%. The main European Eurostoxx 50 futures slumped 0.2%. During the last session, U.S. indexes rose with the Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.15%. The S&P 500 climbed 0.42%, and the Nasdaq surged 0.66%. U.S. markets are closed to Thanksgiving on Thursday. Panasonic sells its semiconductor unit to Vuitton. The Japanese electronics giant Panasonic Corp. Aims to sell its loss-making semiconductor unit to Taiwan's Vuitton Technology Corp. For $250 million as the company struggles to lift its profit amid a lack of growth drivers. The sale is part of Panasonic's plans to cut fixed costs by 100 billion yen, $920 million by the year ended in March 2022 by consolidating production sites and overhauling loss-making businesses. Panasonic has already divested most of its chip businesses and has shut down or shifted its manufacturing facilities to its joint venture with Israel's Tower Semiconductor. The latest deal includes the sale of the entire JV, which is owned 51% by Tower and 49% by the Panasonic chip unit.